What's up, you guys? It's KeAmber Vaughn, aka CoachKe, coming back to you with another video. If you are new to my channel, welcome. And if you're not new, welcome back. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and also tap the bell so that you are notified of every new video that I post. So as you guys can tell by the title of this video, I'm going to be talking about a very delicate subject as to how all lenders scam us. So in my very first mock budget video that I've ever posted on my channel, which I know this video is timeless, so you could be watching this video a year or two after I actually uploaded here, but in the mock budget video that I posted on my channel in February of 2019, I talked about how I wanted to dive deep into how lenders scam us and how it really creates disparities in our budgets. Now, we do have to take responsibility because we are the people who are signing off on these credit cards and these mortgages and all these personal loans and stuff like that, car loans, but it is some things that go on in the lending industry, and there is one piece of information, just one, that you need to stop giving on your applications for this borrowing of money, and it will stop creating such a tight hold in your budget. So first things first, it's very important for you to understand that in this country, in America, this is a capitalistic nation, okay? And the only way that anybody can capitalize off of you is by capitalizing off of your lack of knowledge. That is like the biggest underlying message in this country. So as we start to learn different things, whether it's on YouTube or we're Google searching or reading blogs or books, we start to get a little bit frustrated. Like, why wasn't I taught this stuff in school? Well, if you were taught these things in school, guess what? A lot of things that stimulate this economy would not be able to happen because they have to capitalize off the fact that you don't understand how certain things work. Okay? Now, before you start to really learn about this one piece of information in the lending industry, it's very important for you to understand that the biggest disparity in your budget, aside from your debt being in there, is actually taxes. In this country, there are three primary tax brackets. You have the people who are taxed about 28 to 33%. These are everyday people who work a typical job, typical 9 to 5, 12 to 12, 7 to 7, whatever. You go to work, you get paid. So these people, they work for their money, they're taxed off the top, and then you go home with whatever's left after taxes, okay? And the majority of you who are watching this video, you understand that language because that is the lane that you're in. The second tax bracket is primarily for small business owners and contractors, people who file a 1099. With these people, they earn an income, they have their expenses throughout the year, their taxable expenses, and then they are taxed at the end of the year based on their adjusted income after their business expenses. These people are typically taxed about 18 to 25%, somewhere around there. So it's a much lower tax rate than the 28 to 33% on average that W-2 earners get taxed. Then the third tax bracket is pretty much for people who are investors. These people typically get taxed less than 15% on the income that they earn on their investments. Now, of course, the tax bracket that you fall into is somewhat something that you can't really control. You know, not everybody is interested in investments like, you know, buying and flipping houses or investing in the stock market. Not everybody is interested in being self-employed or being some kind of contractor where they are paid, you know, on a 1099. So that's understandable. That one little piece is probably something that you cannot really control. But the one thing that you can control is, of course, how much debt you actually accumulate and how you accumulate that debt based on your income. So where do the lenders come into this equation? Well, think about it. If you ever go back, and you can go back to some of the applications you put in, you can go Google search lender applications, go research like mortgage lender applications or car loan applications or credit card applications. The one piece of information that all lenders always ask you for is your estimated gross income. Every single time. You never ever see, now I'm not, you know what, let's not say never, but for the most part, I don't think I've ever saw any lender ever ask me for my net income. They always ask for the gross income. And why is this the problem? Well, think about it. If your gross income is $50,000, but you only take home about $33,000, $36,000, that means that when the borrowers are qualifying you for this money that you're borrowing from them, they're qualifying you based on income that you never see. They're qualifying you based on the whole $50,000 instead of just $36,000. And why is this a problem? That means that you're always underqualified for every single loan, personal loan, mortgage loan, car loan, credit card, anything like that. You're always underqualified. And how does this affect our budget? Well, let's take, for example, the $3,400 a month mock budget that I did a couple of weeks ago or last week. Let's take that one, for example. Now, at this point, I'm going to look down at my computer because I have all of the notes as far as this budget down here. But this person's mortgage was $1,016. This is 30% of their take-home income. 30%. Then we have a car loan for $510 a month, and that's 15% of their take-home income. Next, we have some kind of credit, which I believe this is like a furniture type of credit, like, you know, credit card, something like that. But that is $70 a month. Now, granted, this minimum payment was probably more when they first borrowed whatever the money was for whatever it was. It could have been more, who knows, but that's 2% of their income. And then the last thing is student loans. Now, even though student loans are not income-based, it's still part of our debt, right? So their student loans that they're paying are $181 per month, which is another 5% of their income. This means that when you add up all of the percentages, debt takes up 52% of their take-home income. So when this person complains about their budget being really tight, this is why. Now, again, this is not to judge the person. The person had, listen, we've all been in the same boat. None of us were taught what we were supposed to be taught. But 52% of this person's income is going towards debt. Now, it is important to note that after I created that video and published it, the person did email me. They thanked me and everything. And they did tell me that they have an extra $400 a month of guaranteed income, which I don't know where this income comes from. But they did say that that was guaranteed, that they did not tell me about. So it wasn't included in the video. But that doesn't change the numbers very much. This means that the debt still takes up 47% of their income. Now, if you take away the student loans, it's still 42%, right? So what does this mean? And we have to be realistic, because I know some people are going to be like, well, what if I fall on hard times? I don't have the cash to get out of my emergency and I need to put something on a credit card. Or what happens if I need a personal loan to get out of my situation? What happens if my car breaks down and I don't have the $6,000, $7,000 for me to get a quality car? I need to borrow the money. That, you know what, it's okay. Now, I'm not saying debt is okay. I'm debt free for a reason. I do not believe that anybody should ever have debt, especially bad debt. I feel like any debt that's not like an investment debt, like a property that you're investing in or something like that, I feel like if it's personal debt and consumer debt, it just needs to go. And that includes mortgages as well. But again, I'm realistic. So if that happens, if you need to get a car loan, or if you really just want to get a mortgage, which I understand most people want to be homeowners. Me, not so much. I made a whole video about it. But if that happens, all you have to do is when you go to get pre-qualified, always put down your take-home income. I used to be a real estate agent, so I know how it worked when you got pre-qualified, and I've tried to get pre-qualified for investment properties before, and they typically only ask for your credit. Well, they typically look up your credit score. So they take your social security number, they look up your credit score, and they typically ask you about how much do you make every month, right? But they ask you your gross income. They typically ask either your gross yearly income or your gross monthly income. So from now on, when you are looking to apply to borrow any kind of money, always get pre-qualified based on your net income, okay? Because you want to get qualified based on money you see, not money you don't see. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Please give this video a thumbs up. Share it with somebody who you know needs this information and needs to understand how these different industries work and how all of these things kind of play a part into why we struggle and we live paycheck to paycheck. At the end of the day, like I said, I'm realistic, but I do believe that everybody should become debt free. It's a certain kind of freedom that is just unexplainable. You guys, like, I've literally been debt free for almost a year. year. It'll be a year in May of 2019. And this is the most liberating experience I ever had. I eliminated over $26,000 in debt in 18 months. I saved $17,000 at that same time because I knew that emergencies could happen. But let me tell you something, not having $800 of extra income every single month going towards debt is a great feeling. But again, I'm realistic. So if you happen to need to borrow money, use your net income. That one little piece of information, that one little piece of your budget will change your budget forever. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.